his family, while others outside called for his execution. Other rioters searching for House Speaker Nancy Pelosi.
Oh, Nancy! Nancy!
With the speaker in a secure location, this security video shows her staffers dashing into a conference room to barricade themselves, the mob moving in moments later, while the terrified staffers called for help.
We need that place, I think. They're coming into us trying to find her now.
President Trump put a target on their backs, and his mob broke into the Capitol to hunt them down.
House Manager Madeleine Dean emotionally recounting the moment rioters tried to enter the House chamber.
At 2:30, I heard that terrifying banging on House chamber doors.
Democratic Congressman Eric Swalwell revealing how close senators came as they evacuated.
I paced it off. You were just 58 steps away from where the mob was amassing and where police were rushing to stop them.
On January 6th, President Trump left everyone in this Capitol for dead.
Among the very close calls, this security video showing Capitol Police Officer Eugene Goodman redirecting Senator Mitt Romney away from rioters just down the hall. Another video shows Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer being escorted by his security detail, then quickly turning around after spotting nearby rioters. The new footage underscoring House Democrats' case against former President Trump, accusing him of laying the groundwork for the insurrection months before it happened by spreading lies about a stolen election, and they say inciting his supporters to violence. And while the attack was happening, Democrats say President Trump did nothing to stop it.
Even when President Trump knew what his words were causing, he didn't do any of those things to stop the crowd. In fact, he did the opposite. He fueled the fire.
Now, there was no public reaction on Wednesday from President Trump, although some of his allies did acknowledge that the new video was compelling. One of his top advisors, Jason Miller, appeared on Fox News and said the president feels confident in his legal team, and on Friday that team will have a chance to present its case in defense of the former president. Savannah.
All right, Kristen, thank you very much. Now let's turn to NBC's Capitol Hill correspondent, Casey Hunt. And Casey, this is such a rare situation where the people sitting in judgment here, the so-called jurors, the senators, are also witnesses, and in some cases, the intended victims here. How did these images, some of which have never been seen or heard before, go over in the room?
Well, Savannah, I was in the chamber for part of the arguments yesterday, and you could really feel the weight in the emotion and see it on these senators' faces as they realized, in some cases for the first time, just how close they came to real danger. Mitt Romney, in particular, was clearly in very personal danger, and they're going to have to now weigh those feelings and what they saw with what they're actually going to do about how they're going to vote. And the early suggestions here seem to be that there are a lot of Republicans who are suggesting that it really didn't make that much of a difference, even though those pictures, images, feelings were so devastating.
Well, the emotions aside, there's a legal case that the House Democrats have to prove here. And the issue is tying the president's rhetoric, the former president's rhetoric, directly to what happened at the Capitol. Based on what's come into evidence so far, what is the strongest connection between the president's words and what actually happened?
Exactly, and I was actually in the chamber for part of the presentation where they were showing video of rioters who were looking at cameras and saying, I came to the Capitol because Donald Trump told me to. And I noticed that senators were paying very, very close attention to those comments. There also are questions about the timing of a phone call from President Trump to a senator who seemed to tell the president that Mike Pence was in danger, and that then thereafter that was a tweet from then President Trump attacking his vice president. So there are a lot of questions around that. It's also, I think, going to be a critical piece of the presentation today as House Democrats wrap up their arguments.
Was there evidence, Casey, where some of the supporters would read some of these tweets?